Good evening. Welcome to the Yorktown Central School District Board of Education meeting for June 6, 2016. Can I have a motion to go into executive session for the matters pertaining to the employment history of particular individuals and contractual negotiations?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Can I have a motion to go back in public session?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Yorktown Central School District Board of Education meeting for June 6, 2016. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence for our armed forces and those in our community who have lost loved ones?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We are going to start with public comment. Is there anybody wishing to speak on agenda-related items only? No? Okay, Ralph, I will turn the floor over to you then.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for waiting patiently for us to come out. I know you're surprised, but I was talking, and that's what delayed us. But anyway, welcome, and thank you for being here. I know that Reshmi Bose is very anxious to get to share the good news about your grants with you. But before we do that, we're very pleased to note that this evening, one of our students, Morgan Ford, is being recognized as the CTE Career Tech and Education Student of Distinction for 2016. So I'd like to invite her teacher, Mr. Bellucci, to the podium, who will tell you a little bit about Morgan.
Thank you, Dr. Napolitano. Thank you to the Board of Education of Yorktown for allowing us to come here and recognize Morgan. I am Jim Bellucci. I'm a principal of the Tech Center, and I have Morgan up here. We're going to recognize her as a student of distinction. I'd also like to thank the Morgan's counselor, Gary Mankus, who is here tonight, John McCarthy, our assistant superintendent, who is here, and Paul Papura, her teacher assistant in the construction electricity program. We'll speak a few words about Morgan. I'll just say that we have about 1,200 students coming through the Tech Center each day, so that makes Morgan one of about 1,200, less than 1%, I think. I'll check the math on that, but she is a top student. Every day I go through and make my rounds. She is hard at work, leading, cutting the path, and doing things above and beyond what is expected of students at the Tech Center. Students like her put the wind in the sails of not only her peers, but in the staff around her. They motivate us to try harder and do better. And this is really a testament to the hard work you've done, and really the hard work her folks who are here tonight, and her grandma who's here tonight, have done to bring Morgan to us. And it's a gift to us to share time with you, and we've enjoyed it thoroughly. But Paul, do you want to say a couple of specific things about Morgan?
My name is Paul Papura, and just a quick word, my background. My background is I'm a retired research engineer, and when I started working at BOCES, it was teaching was totally different, and I'm working with a person who's a blue collar. So we have a white collar and a blue collar, and I've always been told by him to bring it down because I tend to talk over the students' heads. I finally met somebody that I could talk to and understand, Morgan. I was able to communicate on an engineering level with her. She was always able to look back at a problem from a macro point of view. She was able to understand it in the same realm that I did. It would take a little time. She would correct me on different things. So if I made a mistake, she would correct me on it. It was just wonderful to have somebody like that. As a team, we try to set up the students as teams working on projects. And Morgan, and what we do is we try to find the students where there may be differences between them on it. We try to make them as awkward as we can to see how they would work as a team. And Morgan, when she was working with a team on her projects, she never used the word I. And it was just amazing. It just came natural to her. she always went ahead, never had to come back and inquire about anything that she needed. She researched it. It's just been a wonderful relationship that we've had with her. And she is a member of the National Honor Society, and we go to we have skills. It's a competition that they do statewide, and she went ahead and she represented, which is usually all boys. She represented us with it, and she almost came in third, but she was very, very good on it. But we're so proud that she had represented us. Personally, I'm going to miss her because now I don't have anybody to talk to. But I said, a wonderful person. I can't say enough about her. I miss her terribly.
So I'll read this certificate. Student of Distinction, June 2016. The certificate is awarded to Morgan Ford in recognition for your outstanding leadership, skills, academic progress, and community spirit. Signed, District Superintendent James T. Langlois and Director of Career and Technical Education, Catherine Balistreri. My favorite part is the Medal of Honor. And she has a full scholarship ride to SUNY Maritime. She'll be attending in the fall as an electrical engineering major, and will come out with a Coast Guard ship's pilot's license.
So we're very proud of you, Morgan, and we wish you continued happiness and success. Being number one out of 1,200 in terms of looking for that special student to come through. I knew it was going to be a Yorktown student all along. And Paul, if you're looking for somebody to speak your language, always come to Yorktown. We'll speak your language anytime. But we wish you much success. Thank you very much, Mr. Ford, for coming, Grandma. And Mr. McCarthy has been very shy tonight. So he is the assistant superintendent at BOCES. Were you tweeting?
I will be in a second.
Okay, good. I'll tweet along with you. Thank you all for coming. Congratulations. Thank you. You ready to go to part two?
I'm ready to go to part two.
So-
I don't know if everybody heard, though, she won a full scholarship to SUNY Maritime. That's a pretty awesome thing. Another cap, clip on our cap right there for Yorktown. That's awesome.
Phenomenal, absolutely. So thank you again for waiting patiently. I apologize for being late coming out. As you all know, the Foundation of Excellence does a wonderful job raising extra money so that our teachers, the board is very aware of this, so that our teachers have an opportunity to take something that's very meaningful and significant to them, an idea, a service to the students in their class that we cannot necessarily afford in our budget. And the foundation does work steadily and very carefully throughout the school year to raise those additional funds to get the teachers the money that they need. Our teachers are great in terms of filling out grant forms and saying how they would be able to use this money to the advantage of our students, what their goals are, what opportunities they hope to have accomplished. And we spend a lot of time studying the grants, and I'm sure that Reshmi is going to tell you the process is a very strong one and a very fair one, and we congratulate all of you this evening. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to the president of the foundation, Reshmi Bose. We can give you a hand.
Good evening. Good evening, Mrs. Carbo, Dr. Napolitano, Mr. Cole, and members of the board. I am very proud to announce today that the Foundation for Excellence this year will be funding over $44,000 for YCSD schools in partnership with our PTAs. This year, our goal was to exceed $500,000 in funded grants, and we have exceeded that. So we are proud of our accomplishments. And it's really a testimony for our terrific staff and our professionals that work here in the district. We had many grants to choose from, and it was really it wasn't an easy process. There was a lot to think about, and we had a lot to choose from. So I would like to announce the names of the grants that were approved, along with the teachers who had submitted the grants. They are in no particular order, so I'll read them out. The first one was Multipurpose Magnificent Microscope, submitted by Kathleen Muldoon at Crampon School. We had Rocketry and Physics, submitted by Daniel Moore at the high school. Marvelous Mosaics, submitted by Karen Richards, Mark Reiner, and Lori Roberts at Crampon School. And this is one that we are splitting with the Crampon PTA, so it's an effort of our joint partnership. The next one is the High School Sculpture Studio, submitted by Marlene Farrell. Programming with Robots, Mr. Laka and Mrs. Sniffen. STEM Kits for Kindergarten, submitted by Julie Wan at Brookside. The Pollination Garden, submitted by the Crampon Garden Committee, Betsy Floor, Carrie Burns, and Elaine Goodwin. Tennis Fund, Carrie D'Angelo. Strength in Numbers, Allison Armstrong, David Zeiler, and Carrie Satterelli. National Archery in the Schools program, and this is one they're splitting with the high school, and this was submitted by Rich Armstrong, Stephen Viteri, Mike Resigno, and Katie Sherwood. The next one has a very catchy name to it. We Are All a Tweet. And this was submitted by the 4th grade teachers at Crampon, and they're represented by Ms. Kivel. Magic of Music, submitted by Maria Vaglica at Brookside. The next one goes to the middle school. Every Picture Tells a Story, and it was submitted by Beth Cocodrillo, Marissa Herrero, and Patricia Lord. Keep Swinging Your Feet to Focus by Arlene Rasulo at the middle school. Reader's Theater by Michelle Ames and Colleen Miragli at Brookside. Genre of the Month Book Club also goes to Brookside, submitted by Carol McAleer and Alina Venezia. Rewarding Efforts to Academic Success by Faith Goldstein goes to the high school. The next one is probably one of our biggest grants for this year, and it's for a greenhouse at Brookside. And this is submitted by the Brookside Edible Garden Committee, Mrs. Banks, Laura Foley, Michelle Perper, and Laura Tolosi. Alternative Seating in the Classroom, submitted by Joanne Brancati, also at Brookside. String Instruments of the Violin Family, How They Are Made and How to Keep Them Sounding Great, submitted by Nancy Tarrant at the high school and middle school. STEM Kits for 3rd grade, submitted by Rachel Moses and Anna Fazio at Brookside. The next one is for the middle school, Ironville Kids Nutrition and Character Development, submitted by Laura Tolosi and Lisa Epstein. The next 3 grants are submitted in partnership with the high school PTA. The first one is Science Research Program Projects and Supplies, submitted by Mr. Blueglass, Mrs. Koenigstein, and Dominic Gavazzo. Moving Minds, submitted by Maura Haggerty, also in the high school. Graphic drawing tablets for the high school art program, submitted by Ms. Barada. So that sums up our 25 grants for this year, and we had total just over 500. So congratulations to all our winners. And thank you again for taking the time to submit the grants, even the ones who did not get approved, but thank you for taking the time to put our students first and foremost and to submit these grants to enrich their educational experience. Thank you.
So administrators and faculty and staff, I thank you very much. I just wanted to mention 2 things for you. One is at the expense of Bill Tovar, because I saw him here. So Bill, did you come because you received a grant or because your daughter received a grant?
My daughter, I'm very proud of my daughter.
I know, and so are we. So because I see that Carrie Sattarelli is here with her daughters, and because I see that Katie Sherwood is here with her daughter, so we're going to tell a Bill Tovar story, which is unexpected. So Bill Tovar sends me an email, and he said, you know, in all the years that I've been teaching here and all the years that my daughter's been here, we've never taught a lesson together, and my daughter's asked me to teach a lesson. Would you like to come over and see it? So I thought, that's pretty unique. So I ran down to Brookside School, and Jan was there, and so was Bill, and they were addressing the students, and it was all about, and that's going to bring me to the next topic of butterflies. It was all about the butterflies and, you know, how they were going to get the butterflies safely into, Bill was going to create these cages that the children were going to build that day so that the butterfly larvae, I guess that's not the right word, so I know that all of you who are raising butterflies will tell me what the right word is, but I'm just going to say that we're going to be transferred from the one place to the cage where they would be safe. As Jan Banks is getting ready to tell the children, you know, exactly what they're going to do, and she said, does anybody know who this gentleman is? And I just want to say that when you're dealing with children, I told this story at Dr. O'Connor's party. Dr. O'Connor and I walked into a kindergarten classroom, and the kindergarten teacher said very excitedly, oh, boys and girls, look, we have 2 very special guests here. Does anybody know who they are? So, you know, generally the children really don't know who we are until about 2nd grade. Then they're able to say, oh, that's Dr. Napolitano. He's the superintendent. He's the boss of bosses. And that always makes me feel very ethnic when they do that. And then they were able to identify Dr. O'Connor also. But in kindergarten, the children generally don't know who we are. But this one little boy was so enthusiastic, and he was raising his hand, and he was excited. And of course, with his excitement, the teacher became excited too, thinking he really knew who we were. So the boy kind of, when she calls on him, yes, Joseph, who is it? And he goes, I don't know. It looks to me like it's somebody's grandparents, but they don't recognize them today because they're all dressed up. And it's got to be somebody's grandparents in the room. So I want to tell you, you can go from being on a very high to a very low in a very short time. And the same thing happened to Bill. So the first person that Jan calls on says, is that Mr. Banks? And Bill kind of looks over at me and nods, like, you know, looking pretty good, right? See, they think I'm Mr. Banks. So then she said, oh no, boys and girls, it's not Mr. Banks. So then she calls on another child, and she said, do you know who this gentleman is? He says, yeah, it's your grandfather. So Bill went from being the husband to the grandfather in 2 minutes. So you can either be lifted very up by young children, or you could be put down very low. It all depends on how they're feeling that particular day. But in speaking of butterflies, I did want to mention to all of our teachers and staff members, many of you remembered Carol Jacobson because you actually worked with her. And as you know, Carol passed suddenly, and unexpectedly, I guess suddenly and unexpectedly are the same words, while vacationing with her beloved husband. And he wanted to do something in remembrance of his wife, and he felt because she had spent 30 years teaching third grade in our district, that he wanted to make sure that it was the third grade teachers and the third grade children that would be the beneficiaries of what he would like to do for us. So we had actually thought a great deal about what we could possibly do, and we had a committee, and Deirdre and Susie were very kind, as were teachers from both buildings, to give us a lot of time and attention. And what we concluded is that we would design 2 outdoor library spaces. The one, I believe, at Susie's building is called Carol's. It's Carol's Corner at Deirdre's building, and at Susie's building, it's Carol's Place. And you're both right there. Thank you very much. So Dr. Jacobson and his daughter and Carol's brother and sister-in-law and niece all came. We had a ceremony at both places on Friday. And I have to tell you, the principals really outdid themselves. It was simply beautiful. Not so much. Well, certainly the spaces were beautiful. Dennis and the men did a tremendous job, and if you haven't seen it, please do make sure that you go to see both places. But from the perspective of the way it was presented to the Jacobson family, I just thought it was a tribute that was lovely and beautiful. And really what we wanted to say is that Carol's legacy would live on. We don't know how many lives we touch as teachers, as principals, as staff members, because oftentimes that doesn't get played back to us. But we do know that certainly there is a difference that we make to our students, and that somewhere in time they do recall us, they do recall a particular thing that made them feel good, that made them feel special, that made them feel important, that made them feel welcomed, accepted, and valued while they were in our classrooms. And you can be sure of that. And although probably Carol's last class, I'm sure she's retired now at least 8 years. So those third graders are probably juniors in high school at this point in time. And I'm thinking her first class, those kids are probably about 38, probably pushing close to 40 years old. So I'm certain that there were many, many fond memories they had of Carol. Her travels around the world and how she shared her love of travel and adventure and culture with them, and an abiding respect that when you travel the world and you meet people who are different, the differences are only superficial. What really shines through always is how similar we really are and how much we really have in common. And I'm sure that was Carol's theme for 30 years plus that she was with us. So if you haven't had that opportunity, different kind of grant, certainly. Dr. Jacobson was very kind to give us $10,000, $5,000 for each of our schools to be used in the way that we use them. But I think it would be lovely if some of you had the opportunity to walk over and see them, particularly if you knew Carol, because I think it's a great way to be remembered. And it made me feel very, very good that day to see Carol remembered so specially. So again, I'm going to end by saying I thank you very much for waiting for us. I thank you very much for applying for grants. I know that you're very busy. The board knows that you're very busy. They know that you do a great job. And they do find it very inspiring that even with the time that it takes to do a little extra, you never mind doing it. And I think Reshmi's going to present me with the fake check. You know, it occurred to me, I tweeted $40,000 worth of grants are going to be given out. And then I got scared. I thought, what if they think that I have $40,000? We could be robbed. So I hired Tom Cole to watch every door in the place to make sure that nobody would misunderstand that all I'm getting is a big check. You're going to bring it up to show us? Oh, please do. And for those of you who don't know, Mrs. Bowes has just been elected to the Board of Education. Oh, did you want me to come? So, can we tell everybody they can go home? Yes. You can all go home and think of me. I have to stay. But I don't mind. It's every single night. Every night. It doesn't matter. Good night, everybody. Congratulations. Sure.
Move on to the rest of the agenda. We have personnel. The boring stuff, yes. We have an appointment for David Lease. He's changing as a lateral transfer from civil service to a certified personnel. Okay, I have a motion to approve. Upon recommendation of the superintendent, a motion to following be approved. The certified.
We have to accept the grants first.
Okay, I'll do that right after this one. Can I do this first since I was already there? Okay. We have a lateral move for David Lease. We have extended school year program and certified personnel resignation.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Let's go back up to Foundation for Excellence. Can I have a motion to approve the grants that were previously announced from the Foundation for Excellence and the PTAs?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Business Office. A upon resolution of the resolved that upon recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education hereby approves the contract with Educational Data Services in the amount of $8,420 for bidding services for the 16-17 school year, including time and material.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved upon recommendation of superintendent of schools, the Board of Ed authorizes the execution of the 16-17 initial contract for Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES services.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Fund balance allocation. Resolved that the Board of Education of the Yorktown Central School District hereby authorizes the funding of the district-approved reserves with the excess of 4% from unassigned fund balance as of June 30th, 2016. The allocation of such fund balance will be determined subsequent to June 30th, 2016, and prior to settling the tax levy.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Budget transfer, a motion to approve the following budget transfer.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Speak up, people.
Come on, guys.
I'm in a little trouble.
Got all beyond.
I know. Gifts, grants, and donations. A motion to accept with gratitude from the Yorktown High School outdoor seating bench from a Yorktown High School student and an Eagle Scout, Alex Recker. Rashar, I apologize. $3,000 from the Society for Science and the Public and the Intel for equipment to help students of the Science Research Program further their projects. For Brookside, $63.75 from Target for the Take Charge for Education. For Mohansick, $608 from the Mohansick PTA to purchase new shelves for the Mohansick Library. At Crampon, $18.43 from the Target Take Charge for Education program, and $78 from the Crampon PTA to be applied towards a school trip to SUNY purchase.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all very much for the generous donations. We are up to board comment. Anthony, you're good? Cheryl?
I just want to say thank you to the Foundation for Excellence. They do so many great fundraisers throughout the year. They do quite a few of them, and I know it's a lot of work for them to collect that much money to put directly back into the schools. So I really want to say thank you to them for all of their hard work.
Tom?
I'm good, thanks.
Mike?
No, I'm good. Actually, I thought that was really neat.
Okay, and along with the Foundation for Excellence, the PTAs had a significant portion of that money, or a large portion of that money was from the PTA, so they all should be recognized from Crampon and the high school for their generous donations. It was almost $6,000 from the high school.
Yes.
And I don't know what Crampon gave, so I think that they should be acknowledged.
Thank you.
1,000, okay. So 7,000 of the 44 was from PTAs. That's a wonderful contribution.
Thank you.
Ralph, anything?
Just that I think everybody knows already that the boys and girls lacrosse team, that the boys and girls lacrosse team are moving on, and the boys will be playing on Wednesday at Hofstra. I would have told you something else, so it's a good thing. And the girls are playing Friday at Cortland. So we're very excited for our teams. It's a very busy month, but a very exciting month. Tomorrow they are at the high school There was a senior awards assembly, so we're looking forward to seeing many of our seniors being recognized. And also, of course, moving up ceremonies all through the district, as well as graduation. So this is a very exciting month, and we're all very happy for our students and excited for them. Did I use the word excited about 17 times? I couldn't think of another word.
You're excited the year's ending.
I'm excited that I have only a couple of more nights to be out because after a while you just hope that you're in the right place with the right speech.
Tom, did you have anything? Florence landed safe and sound?
Yes, so Florence landed safe and sound. She's adjusting to the humidity and the very hot weather. Her daughter is still hanging in remarkably. So hopefully we'll have some good news soon.
Terrific. All right.
She sends everybody love.
All right. So we are up to our last public comment. Anybody wishing to speak in the audience? All right. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?